Pearls and their beauty have enchanted humanity for centuries, a show of nature's artistry beneath the oceans.
However, unlike other jewels in the world that are made by enduring pressure and heat for millions of years, these gems are formed inside a living organism.
From the captivating Tahitian pearls to the exotic South Sea pearls, there is a gem available for every occasion and taste.
But the question remains, how exactly are these shiny jewels made? Although there might be some differences, the process by which most pearls come to fruition is very similar.
Pearl formation when a tiny irritant enters an oyster's shell. The irritant is either a microscopic organism, a tiny piece of shell, or a grain of sand,
marking the beginning of a pearl's formation. Mollusks, such as oysters and mussels, are the primary producers of pearls.
This parasite settles between the mantle and the shell, irritating the natural equilibrium of the oyster's body.
Once the oyster is unable to get rid of the parasite, it starts a natural defense mechanism to protect itself from the intruder.
To understand how a pearl is made, it is essential to understand the anatomy of an oyster. Oyster shells are made of two valves or parts,
held together by an elastic ligament. The oyster shell contains 3 layers, and the innermost layer is called the nacre.
This luminescent layer, known as the nacre, is responsible for producing the gems we call pearls.
Nacre is a combination of calcium carbonate and proteins that the mollusk produces from its mantle tissue.
Once the irritant enters the shell, the oyster begins secreting nacre, which starts coating the irritant layer by layer. Over time, the layers of nacre start to pile up, creating a shine gem called a pearl.
Some oysters can secrete a nacre layer 3 to 4 times every day, while it takes others weeks to create a single layer around the parasite.
Not all oysters are capable of producing pearls, as only certain mollusk groups use nacre to protect themselves against parasites,
giving the resulting pearl not only strength, but an opalescent sheen. Each nacre layer is incredibly thin, which means it can take up to 24 months for an oyster to naturally make a small pearl. Pearls are produced by oysters in both freshwater and saltwater environments.
While both these pearl types have the same value, they are usually graded on a range of factors,
including size, nacre thickness, shine, color, and surface quality.
Colors of pearls can vary from white, gray, red, black,
blue, and green, with black pearls being indigenous to the South Pacific.
As the world continues to go through global warming, it is becoming increasingly difficult to find naturally produced pearls.
When sensitive sea creatures, such as oysters, are exposed to harsh weather conditions,
they resort to redirecting their energy, moving away from unnecessary functions such as pearl making, and focusing on more life-sustaining processes.
In addition to pearls formed by the buildup of nacre, some pearls are composed of calcite.
These gems cannot be cultivated through human efforts and are formed by marine gastropods deep in the sea.
Before a pearl is produced, an oyster's body needs to mature to handle the pearl-making process.
This means that wild pearls can take up to 7 years to build up.
the process of pearl formation is incredibly long, which is why most pearls found in the market today are produced by human intervention.
With the changing climate conditions, the harvest and cultivation of pearls can prove to be more difficult,
resulting in a decrease in the quality or quantity of these unique gems in the coming years. This means more reliance on farm-produced pearls.
While the process of pearl formation is decided by nature, like all things, it is usually controlled by humans.
Most of the pearls on the market today are made by human manipulation
and are known as cultured pearls.
Pearls follow a similar process, mimicking nature's efforts to mass-produce this gem for industrial use.
The human-controlled process starts by introducing a small bead or mantle tissue into an oyster,
giving them an intruder to coat with nacre.
This technique is called grafting, a process that allows industries to ensure sustainable pearl production.
This process is carried out at pearl farms, where a controlled environment gives oysters a chance to thrive.
For the pearls to form, the circumstances need to be just right.
The farms are responsible for maintaining the well-being of each oyster,
ensuring the harvest of the highest quality pearls.
At these farms, oysters are found suspended in water.
With a system set in place to provide ideal nutrients to consume according to an oyster's specific needs.
As they absorb nutrients, they continue to deposit layers of nacre
around the parasitic substance.
Gradually forming the pearl. This process is long and tedious,
and requires patience and expertise.
Which can only be provided at pearl farms.
These experts focus on providing a healthy and stress-free environment
to the oyster, ensuring the pearl formation process.
Carries on as scheduled.
After several months of monitoring oyster health and keeping them in ideal conditions,
the time of harvest arrives.
Which means time to finally retrieve the oysters from the water.
and on the Brooklyn, and open them up here to reveal the gem they conceal within.
While it is impossible to gauge if an oyster has a pearl inside,
larger, older oysters are more likely to have pearls than smaller, younger ones.
However, under controlled conditions,
most of the oysters are able to produce pearls.
Making the percentage incredibly higher than naturally found pearls.
Better suited to meet the ever-growing demand. Now comes the role of trained technicians, who are charged with using methodical techniques
to remove the pearl from the oyster.
Ensuring the oysters remain under minimal stress,
while preserving the shape and quality of the pearl.
Once the pearls are harvested, they are extracted, revealing their uniqueness.
Each with their own shape, color, and size,
reflecting the nurture and care they received on the farm.
Each pearl undergoes a thorough cleaning process to remove any residues or impurities.
All pearls are made differently. This means that once they are out,
they go through a sorting and grading process.
where technicians evaluate the pearls to determine their value in the market. This attention to detail ensures that only the pearls that are close to perfect make it to the market.
And ultimately to the customer.
The journey of pearls doesn't end here. While pearls make amazing gifts on their own,
they are usually used to create exquisite pieces of jewelry. The beauty of pearls lies not only in their natural elegance, but also in the craftsmanship